With the modern advancements in technology, it is becoming much easier now to create content with relative ease, and no more so with AI platforms. When you look at the likes of Jasper, Writer, Copy.ai, among many others. And one of the most noticeable and recent revolutions in that space is OpenAI's ChatGPT. So you've probably seen it all across the internet. You can see the multitude of videos and content being churned out with regards to how you can use this platform in order to help you create content very quickly and easily for your business or any type of projects that you're working on. It can literally create anything from resumes and CVs for job applications, speech scripts, video scripts for videos that you would create even here on YouTube, writing blog articles, posts, newsletters, email, copy, anything that you can think of in a written format, ChatGPT can literally create. You also do have to be mindful and aware of the prompts that you do give the AI, because the prompts are probably the most important aspect of the platform itself. Because when you give it the right prompts, it's initially going to give you back the most detailed elements and content that you can use to move forward. So what you can literally do is you could literally set up an entire business or multiple businesses or side hustles utilizing this platform. But like I've mentioned in previous videos that I've covered on the channel already, I'll make sure to drop links to them in the description. While there are benefits to using platforms like these, and ChatGPT is definitely one of them, you can't just simply copy and paste what it provides to you and just send it out there hoping that it's going to make you money. Because if you think with that mindset, then you're a fool pretty much, because the reality is that a lot of these platforms take information that's already been documented on the internet, so there's a very good chance that it will be plagiarized or copied from a different source. But it will definitely help you to create the foundations, the outlines and the simple templates that you need to hit the ground running, so that you can overcome writer's block, so that you can simply get your project started. But in saying that, there are a number of tools out there for, especially with writers, especially if you're doing copywriting as part of writing your projects. There are a number of useful tools out there that also will help you to simplify the process, but they'll allow you to rework or rejig various types of written aspects and allow you to write better content overall. They will allow you to even think of ideas that you probably wouldn't think of, and they can work in conjunction with using ChatGPT to allow you to make the content that's generated from this platform to be more unique and original towards your own personality. So here we'll be taking a look at 10 different platforms that will show you exactly all of the different elements and tips and tricks to allow you to create the best type of content possible that you can also utilize alongside of working with ChatGPT. So the first platform we can look at with regards to everything I've just mentioned is the Hemingway app. If you're not familiar with this platform, it's a readability editor that allows you to literally overlook and to understand the various different aspects of your actual writing. So you can take anything that you've written inside of ChatGPT and you can copy and paste it in here. And what it's going to do is it's going to highlight a lot of references to determine how useful and how relevant your content's going to be. So it will give you different coloured elements to let you know what is working and what isn't working. So in this case, as you can see here, if it's in red, it ideally means that the content is very hard to read, and it can be very difficult for an absolute beginner or a content reader to really navigate and to understand the logic behind what is written on screen. But this will allow you to change that. So it will highlight any elements of your text and it will give you a grade to let you know how relevant it is. Obviously, the higher the grade, the better it is, but the lower the grade, the worse it will get. So this will allow you to determine what type of writing and content is good and what isn't. Because the reality is if you're using an AI platform, while it can generate AI content for you very quickly, we have no clue or concept as to how good it looks or is presented to other people. Yes, it may look good for you reading it, but someone else reading it may not be able to understand the logic behind it. But utilizing platforms like these will help you to understand this process better and allow you to make those all necessary changes changes to make it more adaptable and approachable. So as you can see, if you look at the red, it tells it that it's very hard to read, and the same can be said with the yellow. It tells it it's hard to read, but it does require some changes. So the purple ones allow you to, if you highlight over it, you can also change out the words, so it can try and use something else to abbreviate or to elaborate on those elements to make it just easier to understand. And when you look at the likes of the blue elements, it pretty much is telling you that to remove forceful verbs or words that can also make it tricky for people to understand. But anything that's in green is pretty much good to go, and when you highlight it, it will let you know that you're using an active voice, so that everything is pretty much easy to navigate through. Another app you can also look at is the Data Ease Readability Analyzer that allows you to analyze all of the specific elements and characters that you can generate from your content. So you can generate or copy and paste your paragraphs, or even the overall context of your document that you've written, or even if you've created content using ChatGPT. And this here will go into the specifics of the amount of sentences that you have, the words per sentence, the characters per word, even the percentage of difficult words. So this will definitely give you a very distinct and detailed overview and rundown of all of the details within your document, but will also give you readability scores based off of how simple and how difficult the readability is of the article, so that you can make necessary changes. So if I just copy and paste in a piece of text, as you can see here, it gives you a rundown and an estimate of exactly what's available. So the number of sentences is 1, words per sentence is 27, characters per word is 5.41, and then the percentage is over 25, nearly 26%. And then here it gives you the readability scores, and you can highlight the question marks, and it gives you an example of what each feature does. So it will just help you to really kind of elaborate and understand the context of the written content. Because even though if you're using ChatGPT or whether you're writing the content yourself, these type of tools will help you to adjust and to tweak different aspects of your content to make it more human focused, and to just, again, like I said, add in your own personality. So tools like this will definitely help you with all those subtle changes. Another website or platform you can look at would be Juicy Studio's Readability Test app. So this here again is another site that will look at the various specific elements of different types of copywriting or content that you've written, regardless of whether you're writing for your blog or whether you've used AI. But the benefits, like I mentioned, with all of these platforms here, even if you've written content using AI platforms, this will allow you to elaborate and to understand what needs to be changed, so that you can make those changes to avoid any kind of plagiarism elements or any type of discrepancies further down the line. What this here does is it actually has a really good feature on it where you can test the readability of a website or a web page or even an article. So here, for just this example, we're just going to paste in a URL into this bar here, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to calculate the readability of the actual page itself. Now, as you can see here from looking at it, it breaks down the amount of different types of data sets based on sentences, words, average words per sentence, different syllables, and its index, ease of reading, and its overall grade. And it will formulate a plan and give you an idea of the different types of context that you can understand, and will help you to break down all of the elements into various topics so that you can start making subtle changes to make your content more valid and more readable in most cases. So it's very, very thorough in how it documents its information that it presents to you, and it does definitely give you a better idea of what to do. Now, if you're more data driven and you understand all of these elements, this would be something that I think would definitely benefit you if you're more analytical in nature in terms of how you're presenting your ideas. This is definitely one of those platforms you can definitely try out. Next up, we have a very popular platform by the name of Grammarly, and Grammarly is a very, very useful tool to help you to create all different types of content that you can use pretty much online. So you can open up the tools. Now, you do have a free plan, but you also can opt into a paid alternative that will unlock additional features and give you access to different types of tools. I myself personally use Grammarly pretty much all the time because I be writing documents and scripts for videos, blog posts, emails, email, articles, and even just general other projects that I do work on in my spare time, where I'm writing loads of different types of scripts and articles. And Grammarly for me is one of the go-to tools because it helps me to not only change out and to adjust certain types and tweak certain types of elements within the content that I write, but it also flags up any errors or any spelling mistakes. And if I've written something in a way that doesn't make sense, Grammarly is a fantastic tool for allowing you to make those adjustments with relative ease that will allow you to highlight specific elements, as you can see here, and it will allow you to rewrite those elements for more clarity. And it will also pick up on any kind of like spelling mistakes or any type of discrepancies that it thinks might have an effect on the overall consistency of the document. Now, in saying that, because these platforms use AI elements, they're not always going to be 100% accurate. There is at times where Grammarly can sometimes make a mistake in terms of spelling. It tries to think that the word is something else when it actually isn't. But you can make those adjustments as and when you need to. You don't always have to follow along with everything that it suggests to you, but it just picks up on various elements that could be an issue further down the line, and that's why it is a really good platform to allow you to grow. You also do get access to expert writing help, where you can have people that will look over your content. It will give you rundowns on the different elements from correctiveness, clarity, engagement, delivery, and the style on how it's written. And you also have access, if you have the paid option, for a plagiarism checker, which will check to make sure that the elements that you have written on the screen, and this can be said even with AI written content, once you've made the various adjustments, you can check it with these tools, and as you can see here, the content is 100% original. So if there is any type of plagiarism elements, it will flag up at the top and will tell you a percentage that certain elements have been taken from other articles online. So in this case it hasn't, because I've made different changes from writing the article itself. So if it's all good on this, there's a chance that you'll be okay online, but you still need to adapt and to just be aware of certain elements like I mentioned. But still, Grammarly is another fantastic tool, and it's a tool I literally use every single day because I be at the computer. I'm always writing stuff, writing articles, responding to emails, comments on my YouTube videos, whatever it is that I'm doing. Grammarly for me is definitely one of the tools that I use on a daily basis. So even if you don't have access to the paid version, you can just download the Google Chrome app for free, and it will give you enough to help you get started. The Espresso app, where you can find over at espressoapp.org, is another very useful tool that allows you to make certain edits and to allow you to adjust certain tweaks that will analyse the content inside that you've written. So I'm just going to paste in the same paragraph that I have here, and it's going to analyse the text, and it's going to give you a very good breakdown over all of the certain elements between verbs, nouns, pronouns, different phrases, rare words, filler words, weak verbs, all the general type of statistics that you need to understand how to make your content unique. And if you want to drive more enthusiasm or curiosity, or even like for a sales pitch, all these elements here will give you a very good detailed rundown of what to use and what not to use. So this here is another very good tool, and it does have access to various different tutorials, metrics, and how to use style guides that will teach you how to use the platform. Now, it's very simple to use. It doesn't take much to figure out what to do. So this here is another really useful tool if you want to understand the dynamics of how you can adjust and tweak your content, and more so if you're using AI platforms to generate content for your businesses. The next platform you can also check out is an app known as ShareThrough that focuses on understanding how to create better headlines or titles for the likes of your blog posts or YouTube videos or video content. So this here, you add in a specific headline. In this case, I've just taken a title from a recent YouTube video that I made on my channel, and what it's going to do is it's going to analyze the specific elements. So it's going to give you a breakdown score on average of what or how good the actual title is. So in this case, the headline quality score is 65%, which means that there's room for improvement. So you can make subtle tweaks within this here, and then once this ends up in the green, it means then there's a very high chance that your title will reach more mass appeal and more audiences. With regards to the videos, there is a potential that you can get more views, because as we all know on YouTube, the main core aspects are your titles and thumbnails that will determine if your videos get clicks or not. So by using platforms like this here is a perfect tool tool that you can use if you're testing different types of titles. You can get a quality score and it will let you know straight away if it's going to be good, not so good, or if it's going to be perfect. And if you do get scored like in this case here, it will allow you to just make those subtle little tweaks, so you can really just think about all of the various aspects of what is going to make a good title for that particular video or blog post or whatever it is. So this here is another fantastic tool. So you can literally just make some subtle little adjustments and you can see, and it will give you a different type of element. In this case, right, it's gone down to 63, but as you can see here, it definitely gives you a direct result based off of any tweaks that you do decide to implement. Now as you can see here, by changing it again, the score slightly increased, so it means that I'm heading in the right direction. So this tool here will be perfect to get a really good understanding of how good or how bad your title is. Like, we all think that when we create a title for a video, we think that, oh yeah, that's going to be the best type of title, but the chances are it may not be. So by using a tool like this here will definitely give you a better understanding of the best types of titles to create, as it will give you a direct input and feedback of what's good and what isn't, so that you can generate the best types of titles, which could possibly result in some of your videos on YouTube or even your blog articles getting more clicks and views, or potentially even going viral. Similar to the last platform we just looked at, the Advanced Marketing Institute also has its own headline analyzer that you can use to look at very specifics with regards to your titles for your videos or articles. So in this case, we're just going to use the same title that we used in the previous step, and we're just going to see what it says here. So as you can see here, the percentage is different compared to the other platform, but it has its own algorithms and specifics that it uses to determine the quality of the content that's being provided on the platform. So as you can see here, when you do analyze it, it gives you a very detailed rundown of exactly the effect it's going to have. So as you can see here, the emotional market value, headline score, and the perspective. This here will give you a brief rundown to let you know exactly what type of impact emotionally or even visually, how it's going to affect the user if they see your title. Is it going to determine the click that you get onto your video or your article, or is it going to be a title that's going to cause them to avoid it and keep scrolling onto something else? This here will give you a rundown of how to do that as well. So this is another really good platform to just analyze and to just really look at the headlines and titles that you're thinking of writing for your content. That will work alongside of everything else that you're doing. Wordhippo is another very good platform that's very simple to use, that allows you to come up with creative ideas to complement the content that you've already written. For instance, if you're struggling with trying to figure out how to reword certain phrases, or if you can't think of a certain word, this here will allow you to find various meanings or rhymes or even sentences that begin with a certain word. Or if you want to find a word that resembles another word that you're thinking of but you can't quite pin it down or remember what that is, there's a very good chance that this app will be able to give you some unique alternatives that you can use to put in place so that you can tweak your content to suit what it is that you're trying to write. So in this case, we're just looking for, say for instance, just for like say holiday, just to give it a simple kind of outlook. As you can see here, it gives you a load of different terms or abbreviations of the word holiday, either school holiday, bank holiday, public holiday, legal holiday, and it also breaks it down into other types of elements like festival, vacation, among many others. So it gives you a whole rundown of different types of words that you can use. Like if you're trying to portray a certain type of emotion in your writing and you're not really sure of the word that you want to use, regardless of whether again it's AI content or you've written it yourself, these here platforms will allow you to adjust that, and they may allow you to think of different ideas, but these here will be a very good asset to use throughout your thinking process while you're making those edits and you're trying to tweak different things. You can use this to complement your thought processes to allow you to think of those other words. So this here is a really good example of that. So if, like I said, if there's a certain word you can't think of, just type in the word that is in your head at first, and there's a chance here that it will be able to relay back a lot of different types of words that in some cases might just jump out at you, and you'll be able to think, oh yeah, that's the type of word that I need, that'll suit what I'm trying to write here in this article. So this would be really, really good to use that as well alongside of your writing endeavours. Another good platform that you can also look at that will give you different abbreviations in terms of the words that you can write would be a platform by the name of VisuWords. And this is a very cool and very different, even unique style of platform, because what this does is it allows you to add in words, but it uses visual representations that can allow you to actually visualize the thought processes behind the words that you want to use. So in this case, if you want to, like if you're building an online business to make money but you want to abbreviate on it, you can use this here and it will give you some different types of context that will let you know the different types of words and elements that can be used based around or that can relate to those specific parameters. So it definitely gives you a rundown here of all the various attributes and elements that you can use. So as you can see here, it does highlight specific elements. So in some cases, it can literally portray back different types of information. Some good, while some maybe not so good. But it really just depends on the parameters that you set, essentially. So as you can see here, it gives you different types of elements that will allow you to elaborate on the words that you've put in. Now, like I said, these platforms, the words that you do type into the platforms, sometimes the responses you get isn't always accurate and it might give you back something that you probably don't want to see or even hear. So that's always the chance that you have to take. So they're not always going to be 100% accurate. So you just have to take it with a pinch of salt, because again, the AI platforms, they are smart, but there's always room for improvement. But you can take the various elements from them and then you can utilize them to move forward. The last platform we'll be looking at here is another element that uses very similar to the likes of Word Hippo, that allows you to look back over certain words. If you're stuck with a certain anomaly or you can't think of a certain type of word that you want to put into your content, but you want to have something that's relatable to it that will help to word everything and piece together all of the elements a lot better, then this is another good platform that will help you to think of alternative words so that you can script your content together in a much better format. So in this case, you can just look into the element. You can give it a specific query, and as you can see here, it gives you a load of different types of words that you can use, like from ancient, antiquated, bygone, obsolete, outdated, and most of these words do relate to the elements that you present to it. So like I mentioned, if you're stuck and you're writing your article and you hit a slump where you can't think of a specific words to write for it, you can use this platform here to help you to generate more types of ideas and written words so that you can start tweaking your content in a way that's more presentable and that will enable more engagement from your readers. So it really just depends on the various type of context that you're looking for. On this website as well, they do have different abbreviations because this is like kind of like an online dictionary. So it's always being updated with different types of words and phrases. So you definitely will find a lot of uses for it, and it will have a lot of really good information that will relate to the type of content that you're trying to provide to your audiences. So it really just depends on the outlooks that you're wanting to create. So regardless of whether you're writing your content yourself, if you're using AI platforms, using these tools that I've just shown you here to work alongside of your content creation processes will definitely help you to structure your content better. It will allow you to elaborate on various elements. It will allow you to think more clearly. If you get stuck, it will allow you to get past those hurdles, to allow you to come up with other types of dynamics. You can also use these tools as well to check to see whether your content is readable, whether it's difficult to read or whether it's unreadable, and to allow you to make those tweaks to make it more approachable to human eyes so that you can create your blog posts, your scripts for your YouTube videos, whatever the case may be. Utilizing these tools alongside of your writing processes will definitely give you a step up, and they will be more apparent and will definitely be more beneficial to you if you're using them to create content as either a side hustle or to develop and create an online business so that you can start earning money for yourself online. These tools will be invaluable to your future success. So if you are looking to build an online business and you're looking for all of the avenues that you can use while utilizing all of the elements as I've shown you here, that will teach you all of the steps that you can create to build a business from scratch, then you can check out the first link below in the description to a proven system that will develop all of the foundational elements that you need to build a business from the ground up. And if you would like to see more content around other types of elements and platforms like this that you can use on your day-to-day business grind, or if you're trying to find ways to make money online, then you can leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated of future videos. And I will see you all in the next one.